it going, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. I hope y'all are having a good day. Man, it feels like it's been since forever since I've done a video, but it's only been about a week and a half. So today we are taking a break from the Tahoe, and we are going to work. Well, this is my 2010 Lexus IS350, and I'm just doing a routine oil change today. I got this back in late July, and I haven't changed the oil since I got it. The dealer put in no oil for me before I picked it up, but it's been about 5,000 miles since it's been changed. So, and I've never changed it before. And on top of that, I don't trust dealerships oil change or the lube places. So I'm going to change my own oil today and go from there. As you guys can see, I already got the car up on ramps. You want to make sure the vehicle is securely lifted, whether you're using a jack and jack stance or a ramp or a shop lift. And make sure if you're doing it on the ground to check your wheels. So let's go ahead and get underneath this car. Okay, so to do this oil change, you are going to need a 10mm socket with a ratchet, a 14mm socket with a ratchet, and you're going to need your oil filter removal tool for Toyota Lexus. I got this off Amazon, and I will put a link for this in the description. So let's get underneath here and see what it looks like. Okay, so our oil drain pan is right here, and here's the drain plug right here, 14mm head bulb. And our oil filter is above this plastic cover. This is why you need the 10mm to remove this, or if you have a Phillips screwdriver, that'll work too. So before I drain my oil, I'm actually going to remove this and check my tool to see if it actually fits on the housing for the oil filter. If not, then there's no point in doing this oil change. Okay, so it's a perfect fit. So we will this is your housing right here for the oil filter, and you take your tool and you just look for the little indentations to fit it inside these little gaps. Just like that. So onto draining our oil. Now while that's draining, I'm going to remove my oil dipstick and unscrew the cap for where you refill your oil. Now that step is completely optional. To me, I just think it's always better to have those open, so air can get in there and have the oil flow more freely down through the oil drain pan. Okay, so for the next step, for removing my oil filter, I'm going to put this drain plug back in, just screw it in by hand so I can move my bucket down below the oil filter housing, and then I'll come back and drain the rest of my oil. Okay, so I've never taken this off before, so I don't know if oil is going to come out through there like it does with when I change the oil in the Tahoe, but you never know. So I have my oil bucket below ready to catch that. Okay, so just as a side note, the drive for the oil filter removal tool is actually a 1/2-inch drive, which I thought it was 3/8, but it's no big deal. I got my 1/2-inch drive right here. Make sure it's well seated, because you don't want to strip or break anything. That will not be fun. Alright, got that broken loose. Now I'm going to slide our oil bucket right below that.
And we got a little bit of oil.
Oh, that's quite a bit. Alright guys, so we got our oil filter taken off. That right there. And this is our oil filter housing. And what I was noticing is on this tool, it's got like a little, I guess you would call it indentation. And that's supposed to fit over this on the oil filter housing, so that way, that right there, so that way whenever you line up, it fits on there perfect. Because I had it cocked like that and I had a hard time taking the tool off, so make sure if you get this specific tool, this little indentation fits over this right here, over the Toyota label, and it seems to be only on this side. Luckily you got indentations on both sides of the oil filter tool. So yeah, now on to preparing our oil filter, new oil filter. I have here K&N part number HP7023, and it comes with your, I don't know what that would be for. If anybody knows what that's for, please let me know in the comments below, because I honestly have no idea. Your oil filter and your gaskets that you should replace every time you put in a new oil filter. So to remove your old gasket, you could use a pick tool. I just squeeze it like that with my hands and then get my finger down in there. Comes off pretty easy. Not sure if it's supposed to be that loose. Alright, so you grab your new oil filter housing gasket, and I'm not sure what the small one is for. I already looked on the housing on the old oil filter, and it doesn't have a small one to be replaced, so I'm not sure what that was for. So if you guys could also comment in the comments below what that would be for, that would be great. Now you want to take a little bit of oil and just lube that up. And that goes over this indentation on the oil filter housing. Just like that. And you take your new oil filter and just slide it in like that. And what's cool about this housing is that this piece right here is flexible. So I just thought that was really cool. So slip that over the tube right there and you're good to go. Okay, so to install your new oil filter in, you just take some old oil and just rub that around the gasket you replaced, like that. Because you don't want to tighten that on dry. Then you come up in here and start it by hand. If you feel any resistance, you make sure you unscrew it and draw it back out, because you don't want to cross thread this. So I'm going to put that like that with the Toyota seal facing downwards, so that we can bring our so that we can bring our tool, and that little indentation I talked about before is going to go over that right there, nice and snug. And I'm not going to super tighten this like it was whenever I took it out. I don't know why it was on there so tight. You shouldn't feel any resistance at all, except for whenever you're getting close to tightening down. That should be good. Now to put our little cover back in place, you got 1, 2, and 3 screws. Now this is the OEM undercover plastic thing, whatever it's called, but if you have an aftermarket one, it may be a little different.
That should be good enough.
Okay guys, so we're ready to put our oil drain plug back in. This has been draining for a while, so that should be good enough. And this is just like your oil filter housing. If you get any type of resistance, draw it back out. Make sure you start it by hand so you don't strip anything. Give that a wipe down. And just tighten that down tight, but not super tight like they like to do at the fucking dealer and lube shops. Should be good enough. And we're good to go. Now we're ready to add our oil. Okay guys, so we're ready to add our oil now. And my oil choice here is Mobil 1 synthetic high mileage oil because I'm past 100,000 miles. 5W30. And one important thing to remember is that once you change oils or start using a certain oil, you want to not go back to the previous oil. Same if you're using conventional, don't go back to using conventional, you upgrade it to synthetic because you don't want to do anything damaging to your engine. The oil capacity for this vehicle is 6.7 quarts. I got a 5-quart jug right here. I'm going to add all of it and then a little bit from the next one. Alright guys, so before I add my remaining 1.7 liters of oil, because that container only had 5, I'm gonna circulate the oil for a bit, a couple minutes, and take the car off the ramps and turn it back off and add my remaining oil. So make sure you put your cap back on if you took it off. Like I said, that option is completely optional, I think. And your dipstick back in place before you turn on your vehicle. Alright, I'm gonna get this thing off the ramps and we'll come back and add the rest of our oil. Okay guys, so I ran my engine for a couple minutes, let the oil circulate. Now I'm ready to add the rest of the oil. Look at this, those are doing an oil change too. And what I did here is so that we know we're adding 1.7 more quarts of oil that we need left. I drew kind of like a line where I'm supposed to stop. There's a new container, so if you go under or over, it doesn't really matter as long as it's not that much. good. Now to put your oil cap back in place. And your engine cover. What? And it wouldn't hurt to check your dipstick oil level just to make sure. Make sure you do it when your engine is off, so that oil is not splashing around in there. You won't get a proper reading. And you can't really tell, but we are right at our oil level line, that second dot on the right there. So that means we're at capacity. All there's left to do is to turn your engine on, just go take it out for a test drive. Okay, now, so to reset your engine oil life, you come over here and you press the engine start button twice. Notice how it says oil maintenance required soon, but we know we got fresh oil. You come back over here and turn it off. Now you press this little button right here, your trip reset button, and you hold it and do not let go of it, and you press your engine start button twice again. And there you go. Engine oil life reset. Now let's turn the vehicle on just to make sure. And no more engine oil maintenance required message on the dash. So we're good. So that's it for the oil change on the 2010 Lexus IS350. Now I'm just gonna take this out for a test drive, get the oil nice and warmed up, and we're good. Just your basic maintenance oil change. You may want to write down your mileage, maybe on your phone or somewhere in your car. Your mileage when you change your oil and the date is always a good thing, good info to keep track of. For the meantime, just like, comment, subscribe, and thank you all for watching.